The very first one is be an editor, not a long-winded storyteller, or as I like to say, don't be a campfire storyteller. We're not here to try to wring out one more minute of attention more than we need. And if you refer back to the framing video, you know that 57 seconds is the maximum average time that you're going to have to make an impression. So you have to be an editor. Clinical trials by their nature are complex. They're also exciting. And the science is complex, but it's also exciting. And the team is made up of complex people, but they are excited as well. And the problem here is that tendency tends to be that the industry standard of landing pages kind of looks like that sometimes. Just rows and rows of text, and maybe sometimes there's a photo. And sometimes on a great landing page, maybe there's a small call to action button. So the problem with this is that in trying to convey everything that's exciting about what we're doing, we actually convey nothing. Because, and as we'll talk about in step 4, speaking in the patient voice, these folks do not have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of patience. They don't want to become experts in this scientific jargon. They just want to find some sort of new treatment for whatever condition they live with or whatever condition their loved ones live with. So we need to be crystal clear on just what our value proposition is and what we make that is so exciting to a potential participant in our trial. So we have to get rid of this idea that details will tell the full story, because details will only muck up the entire story when you think about the context and the framing that a landing page provides. We need to be hyper-focused on the way we speak to these patients. The best landing pages that I've ever seen utilize some sort of box within the landing page. And they provide a little bit of context about what the research is all about, but they don't overdo it. And if there are more points than just can fit into a dialog box at the top of a landing page, I've seen teams get great results, and we at Clara have gotten great results by breaking down any additional information into bite-sized chunks. And in this case, the rule of 3 actually works quite well. The rule of 3, of course, is just an old creative rule of thumb that says 3 things is just about what the human mind wants to seek out. 3 things. So 3 bite-sized pieces of content is all you're going to need. And if at this point you've engaged your audience properly and you've engaged them as well as you possibly could have, well, they're going to be excited about scrolling down and finding more information that you have written down below the fold. We'll talk about the fold, but they will understand that there's something interesting happening and they will research it for themselves. Patients who come to clinical trial landing pages, we've worked with 1,000 of them. We've worked with thousands of them. We know that these are hyper-motivated patients. If you give them a reason to care, they will. But if you fail to convey why they should care, they won't. And they know that there are many other treatments in research that they can reach out to. They know that there are alternate paths for them to walk. They will not wait longer than 50 seconds. We need to make sure that we have done a great job in editing. And that's why we think that's rule number 1. Be an editor, not a campfire storyteller.